Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to try and describe or explain to you why I honestly believe that the never Trump Republicans suffer from the same disease as the never Hillary liberal progressives. I have tried in my previous discussions and talks and in my two books, Self-Enlightenment and Freedom, to get you to understand that the evil or the disease infecting all of us is a inherent trait that has been left over from our primal days when survival of the fittest and self-preservation were the key to existence. Now, as we evolved and civilizations grew and we supposedly became more civilized, this disease became embedded deep inside of us and has never really been discussed or revealed in the depth that I did in my discussions in my series of truth talks, as well as in my book on self-enlightenment, because I had made so many mistakes and I had made so many bad decisions that once I was forced to search for self-truth, self-discovery, self-realization, self-enlightenment, I sought the truth behind the evil that is inside all of us. And this evil is nothing more than selfishness, or selfism is the word that I chose to use. Selfism materializes in liberal progressivism, Marxism, communism, socialism, all the isms, materialism, and selfism. It is the ability of the individual to justify the use of any means in any way to reach their self-serving end result. Saul Lewinsky uses it in his Handbook for Radicals, saying that it's all right to do evil, it's all right to do bad things in order to achieve your end result or your goal. Well, this isn't what Jesus meant, and this isn't what I believe the true people in their heart want to do. They want to do the right thing. They just don't realize that they have been brainwashed and programmed and conditioned by society itself in general, and especially over the last 25, 30 years as the internet has propagated this disease even more. And it has found a perfect nesting place in Washington, D.C., or in politics in general, because a politician will say, will cheat, will steal, will lie to get their end result. We see this in the Congress today. So many of the Tea Party libertarians, as well as Republicans, as well as Democrats, say exactly what they think their audience wants to hear. You see this in Hillary, as she goes from speech to speech to speech, and she says what she thinks the people in front of her want to hear. Now, I went in great depth in my books to show you step by step and incident by incident how I went inward till I discovered that still small voice inside of me that I believe was a direct communication with the Creator. Now, civilization as it evolved has evolved into 5 or 6 major religions, and Christianity is the one that most Americans support and believe in. But even within Christianity, there are 41,000 denominations that differ over the interpretations of the Bible or what Jesus said. And I believe Jesus put it so concisely and precisely when he said, forget about everything you've heard to this point in time, and as you go forward, just do one thing. Love the Creator, love thyself, and love thy neighbors as you would yourself. How simple can it be? We try to distill things down to the simplest terms and forms in life, and he did. However, mortal men got a hold of his words and extrapolated it into all the countless interpretations that exist today. All I'm telling you at this point in time, everything that has happened prior to today, just like Jesus said, happened in the only way it could and did. But going forward, if you just simply accept that golden rule, do unto others as you would have done unto you, things would be all right. Now we have the progressives on one side and the so-called conservative Republicans on the other side, battling over their own unconscious, selfish point of view. The extremes of selfism, the far right, the far left. Donald Trump is simply trying to bring the Americans and the American people and the American perspective back towards the center, where all are included, all thoughts, all the people are encompassed in this center, so to speak. It isn't a compromise, it's reality, it's truth. Most of us, most Americans, are tired of getting the short end of the stick as the liberal left caters to their constituency and the conservative right their constituency is the more important to them, and the truth and the people are left in the wayside or pushed off into the margins. Donald Trump is simply speaking the truth. He is saying the things that we as individuals would like to say, but we are unable to say because the elitists, the academic elite in our institutions are brainwashing our kids to believe the so-called philosophy of the liberal view. And our politicians, they are continuing to further this selfism or this selfish, self-centered point of view. And the rest of America has become so fragmented that everyone, even the smallest little person with a computer, can get their word out. Well, I thought that when I wrote my books and I put them in e-book form and I put them on my website and I offered it free, that people would want to understand and look for self-enlightenment. And I didn't have anyone help me. I didn't have anyone edit it. I spoke my truth, and I thought that this is what people wanted to hear was the truth. But I found out that I am not a celebrity. I am not a elitist pundit who has newspapers and television and forces behind them to push their point of view. I just thought that the general public would like to see an honest point of view of what I believe was wrong with the world in general. And that was that this self-preservation has evolved to where it is destroying the entire world. As you see the Muslim terrorists pushing their point of view, which is the extreme of selfism. They are so selfish that they don't mind cutting the heads off of children and innocent Christians and burning and drowning and slaughtering them by the thousands. As we sit here in America, comfortable with our selves and our petty little arguments, we argue over climate change and green energy and ridiculous things that aren't important to a person who is facing death or facing starvation. And our government has forgotten the people. I saw the other day where Hillary was happy that she was going to destroy the lives of the coal industry, where I grew up. My best friend's fathers toiled in the coal mines. My grandfather did. My father did. And it was through that work that they were able to send their next generation on to college and improve America. Now you're trying to destroy the old ways. And you're destroying the old ways when you try to destroy the rights that are spelled out in our Constitution and in our Founding Fathers' dreams. Now, I know the staunch conservative Republicans are so addicted and unconscious to their point of view that they would rather lose America to save their own selfish point of view, selfism in an extreme. And then you have Hillary and her followers, and then you have the people that are following Bernie who don't even know the real time of the day, because if they truly believe socialism is the answer to our problems, then this selfism is really entrenched to the point that it's going to take a Donald Trump to explode it and bring America back to its senses, common senses, practical, reasonable answers. A true businessman can take America and mold it and reshape it to where it is efficient and making sense. It isn't at this point in time. I'm going to continue making these talks as we go along. Hopefully I'll break through to some young people that can get this thing viral and get it on the internet to where you young people can start searching in your own heart, in your own mind, for your own self-enlightenment, your own self-truth, your own self-discovery, and stop being brainwashed by people who don't really know any better than you. Honestly, you are your best judge. You control your destiny. You control your future through your education. And I certainly hope that some of this breaks through, and I know if you read my books they would, because they're down to earth, honest, sincere interpretations of what I believe our potential and our goal as a human individual really is. So until my next talk with you, Godspeed.